Spring is here, so you know what that means. Theme parks are opening once again. And as we slowly start to make our way out of this pandemic, it appears a majority of the theme parks across the US will be opening in 2021, including parks that remain closed throughout the entire 2020 season. So for those planning your next thrilling vacation, you might be wondering which theme parks you should go to. Well, in this video, I will give you my top 10 theme parks that every enthusiast must visit in 2021. Which park will be number 1? Find out next. Hey everybody, this is Kalahil from Destination Thrills, and I have to admit, I am a little bit afraid to release this video because just over a year ago in February of 2020, I did this exact same countdown outlining which parks everyone should visit that year, and then 1 month later, we went into full lockdown and several of the parks I had listed were unable to open. So I hope I don't jinx us this time, and I swear if I do, I will never do this countdown again. But I am fairly confident that with everything starting to reopen, we will slowly start getting back to enjoying things that we love this year, and one of them will be riding roller coasters. And trust me, after 2020, we could all use a little fun in our life. So that is why today I want to help you plan your next roller coaster vacation by giving you my pick for the top 10 theme parks every thrill seeker must visit this year. Now, for this video, we are just going to focus on the parks in North America. And because this video is aimed at coaster enthusiasts, I will also just be focusing on the quality and quantity of the thrill rides and roller coasters in each park. So things like food, theming, shows, atmosphere, or even guest services will not be factored into the rankings. 2 factors I will be adding to this year's countdown though are 1, operations. This will examine if parks are running rides at limited capacity or if certain big name coasters may be closed for parts of the season. For example, Steel Curtain was closed for most of 2020, and with the uncertainty of the ride's reliability for 2021, this will impact Kennywood's rating. The second factor will be trip security. This will look at the location of the park and what the pandemic guidelines are for the area. Each state has handled this pandemic differently, so states with stricter rules and higher population centers may be at risk of closing again sometime this year if cases go back up, so planning your vacation at one of those parks could be a gamble which will affect their ranking. Alright, I think it is time to get started in this countdown with our number 10, and at number 10 we have Holiday World and Splash and Safari in Santa Claus, Indiana. With only 4 adult roller coasters, this park can easily be overlooked, but when you examine the quality of these coasters, you can easily see why Holiday World is on this list. You have Raven, a classic wooden coaster, Thunderbird, the only launching B&M wing coaster in the world, providing a smooth, soaring experience. You have the Legend, an aggressive wooden coaster from CCI, and then you have the Voyage. This coaster alone is a reason to visit this park with its long, airtime-filled ride through the woods. Voyage is so amazing I have featured it in my top 15 coasters video, which you can check out in the card above. If the quality roller coasters isn't enough for you, then you have to check out their record-breaking water coasters, combining the thrilling experience of high speeds and steep drops with the rush of being drenched by water. This includes the all-new Cheetah Chase, a dueling launching water coaster. Any summer trip to Holiday World will be worth your time, and that is why it is at number 10. At number 9, we have Dollywood in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Dollywood just missed the cut on last year's list, but after the shutdowns happened, it ended up being one of the top places to visit in 2020. Hershey Family Entertainment, which operates Dollywood, really handled the restrictions well last year and were able to reopen their parks in the summer and operate at a pretty solid capacity. Because Dollywood was able to open up and stay open throughout the later half of 2020, I do believe there is a lot of trip security with this park. Now, let's get to the rides. Dollywood has 9 coasters, including a B&M wing coaster, a partially enclosed Gerstlauer coaster, a GCI wooden coaster, and a classic Aero Looper, but the main attraction at Dollywood for coaster enthusiasts is Lightning Rod. Now, in the past, Lightning Rod has been plagued with some downtime, which is a slight reason why I left it off the list in 2020. However, RMC has come in and replaced several sections of the coaster with their iBox track to provide more consistency to the ride's reliability. This has me believing that this could potentially be one of the best years Lightning Rod has had. And if that is true, you are going to want to head down to Dollywood and take full advantage of that. Alright, let's move on to our number 8, and that is SeaWorld Orlando in Orlando, Florida. SeaWorld is known for its 3 high-quality B&M coasters, Manta, a flying coaster, Kraken, a 7-inversion floorless coaster, and Mako, a smooth, airtime-filled hyper coaster. On top of that, in 2021, a new coaster from Premier Rides is anticipated to make its debut to add to their already stellar collection. Icebreaker will have a multi-directional launch and feature a beyond vertical spike. There will also be a near vertical top hat, along with several twists and drops. A coaster you are definitely going to want to get your rides on in 2021. Another reason why I put SeaWorld Orlando on this list is that 2 more parks that you will see later in the countdown are all within the same state. For those who want to hit up multiple parks in one trip, SeaWorld Orlando would definitely be a great place to start. All right, let's move on to our number 7, and we have Busch Gardens Williamsburg in Williamsburg, Virginia. Moving up 1 spot from its ranking in 2020, this park is on the list for the same reason it was last year, and that reason is Pantheon. Pantheon has been testing, which is a good sign that this record-breaking Intamin launch coaster will be opening this summer. And if the ride is as good as it looks in the animations, this will be a top coaster in North America. But even if it doesn't open, Busch Gardens Williamsburg still has so much to offer. It's got Apollo's Chariot, a B&M hypercoaster, Alpengeist, a B&M invert, Griffin, a B&M dive coaster, Verbolten, and much more. Now, I did debate on moving this park higher up on the countdown. However, Virginia had some of the most strict restrictions last year, so I do have a bit of a concern here for trip security if cases were to rise again. With that said, if you are on the East Coast, planning a trip to Busch Gardens Williamsburg would be worth the gamble, and that is why it is at number 7. Moving on to number 6, we have our number 1 from 2020, and that is Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. Now, before the Cedar Point fanboys start flooding into the comment section, just know that I still think Cedar Point is the best roller coaster park in the world. However, due to their operations during the pandemic last year, I am a little bit skeptical about making the trip this year. Now, I will say, Cedar Point has announced that they will be getting rid of the ride access passes. I know that was a big reason why I didn't want to go last year. Also, it looks like they will be running rides at full capacity, which will allow for lines to move a lot quicker. And it appears you don't need to wear a mask if you are outdoors. So in a sense, that would help alleviate some of my concerns. However, because they are reducing all these restrictions, I expect the park to be really busy. You gotta think about it. There were a ton of gold passes that were sold for the 2020 season, and all of them got extended for 2021. So many people who didn't visit last year are gonna wanna get out to Cedar Point this year. Now, for many of you watching, you likely don't get to go to multiple theme parks a year. In fact, a trip to Cedar Point may be a rare thing for you in general. If that is the case, I would recommend holding off your trip until 2022. If it ends up being as busy as I anticipate, you may have to dish out some money for a fast lane pass just to get the full Cedar Point experience. With that said, Cedar Point has the best coaster collection in the world, so there was no way I was not going to include this park in the countdown. And if you have the benefit of visiting multiple parks a year, then a Cedar Point trip would not be a bad idea at all. All right, let's continue through the list with our number 5, moving up 1 spot from last year, and that is Hersheypark in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Hersheypark is another park that was able to open up last year, which allowed them to open up Chocolate Town, the park's latest expansion that includes a brand new B&M hypercoaster, Candemonium. I haven't been on this coaster myself, but seeing the reviews online, it seems like there is a lot of positive things to say about this coaster. On top of this brand new B&M, another reason to visit Hersheypark is to ride their 3 outstanding Intamin coasters. Fahrenheit, a multi-inversion coaster that features a beyond vertical drop, Stormrunner, a coaster that made a deep run in the Intamin coaster tournament that we held not too long ago, and also we have Skyrush, another hyper coaster. In total, the park has 14 coasters, so no matter what type of thrill you seek, you will likely find it at Hersheypark. And with their seemingly smooth operations in 2020, it should give you some confidence for trip security if you decide to plan a visit in 2021. All right, to number 4 we go, and we have Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. Ironically, it has the same ranking that I gave it last year. The reason this park is at the top of the list again is because they are set to debut their record-breaking RMC Raptor Jersey Devil Coaster. Now, as of this video, the website still says that the coaster is set to open in 2021, even though construction is still in progress for the ride. So this might be a mid to late summer opening, something you should keep in mind when planning a trip. This coaster has been highly anticipated, and even though I feel that trip security may not be as high as some of the other parks on this list due to the park's proximity to New York City, I myself will be taking the gamble just so I can get some rides on Jersey Devil Coaster. And even if Jersey Devil Coaster does not open, you still have the world's tallest coaster, King Ka, one of of the world's best wooden coasters, El Toro, and a high-quality hypercoaster in Nitro, along with many more thrill machines. So if you're looking for a good late summer coaster trip, then you may want to put Six Flags Great Adventure on your radar. We have now made it to the top 3, and at number 3, we have Kings Island in Mason, Ohio. Even with the pandemic, I was fortunate enough to visit several theme parks in 2020, and my favorite trip, without a doubt, was my 2-day trip to Kings Island. The park managed all the coronavirus guidelines flawlessly. They were able to maintain all social distancing guidelines while still creating a fantastic experience. This was especially true with their coaster operations. Even when running the trains at 50% capacity, the lines always seemed like they were moving fast. Every time I've been to Kings Island, they have always had amazing ride operations, and even during the pandemic, their employees still delivered. That is a big reason why I have moved it up 2 spots from last year, because the park has shown that they can operate at a high level even with restrictions. Of course, their 14 coasters are another reason why Kings Island is on the list, with world-class coasters such as the Beast, Diamondback, Mystic Timbers, and Banshee. Plus, you have the brand new 300-foot tall B&M Giga coaster that debuted in 2020, Orion. This mammoth coaster, in my opinion, totally lived up to the hype. If you want to see my full review on Orion, I will leave that video in the card above. So I highly recommend you check out Orion and the rest that Kings Island has to offer in 2021. On to number 2, we have a park that didn't make the countdown last year, and that is Universal Studios Islands of Adventure. Now, Universal Studios is typically known for their motion picture rides and their real-life creations of some of your favorite action films, but in 2021, there is a brand new coaster that will open up that will make this a coaster enthusiast destination for years to come, and that is Velocicoaster. This Intamin masterpiece seems to have it all: fast launches, sudden sharp turns, steep drops, and twisty inversions, all mixed with the quality theming we expect from Universal. Many believe this could be the #1 coaster in the US. As a coaster lover, Islands of Adventure really hasn't been on my radar, but in 2021, I will be making my first of many trips to this park. In addition to Velocicoaster, you also have the infamous Incredible Hulk, and the new for 2019, Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, another launching well-themed Intamin coaster. As mentioned earlier, with SeaWorld Orlando opening a new coaster as well, this gives you more incentive to put Islands of Adventure in your travel plans, so you can try out these 2 coasters and the other new for 2021 coaster that just so happens to be at our #1 park, which we will get to in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at this year's honorable mentions. Alright, it is time to reveal our #1, and that is Busch Gardens Tampa in Tampa Bay, Florida. That is right, 3 new major coasters are set to open in Florida, all in 2021. And the reason why Busch Gardens gets the #1 spot is that it might be opening the world's next #1 coaster, IRONGWAZI. After years of speculation, Busch Gardens announced that it would have RMC come in and completely revamp the defunct Gwazi wooden coaster. RMC coasters have a fantastic reputation of providing crazy ride experiences, so the expectation is that IRONGWAZI will be no different. And if the coaster meets or exceeds those expectations, then you will be seeing Busch Gardens Tampa on this countdown for many years to come. In addition to IRONGWAZI, this park has 9 coasters such as the Intamin Blitz coaster, Cheetah Hunt, and B&M coasters such as SheiKra, Montu, and Kumba. And it's not just the coasters that will give you an adrenaline rush. Busch Gardens Tampa is home to one of the most intimidating drop towers, Falcon's Fury. This drop tower takes you up 335 feet and then tilts you forward so you are facing the ground right before you take a sudden plummet. This park is truly a thrill seeker's heaven, and with other Florida parks opening new coasters as well in 2021, it was a no-brainer to pick Busch Gardens Tampa as the #1 theme park a coaster enthusiast must visit this year. So these were my picks for the top 10 North American theme parks you have to visit in 2021. Now I want to hear from you. Do you agree or disagree with this list? Sound off in the comments below and let me know your personal recommendations. Also, if you like these countdown videos, I have plenty more on my channel. I will link the playlist in the description below, along with my last coaster countdown, the top 10 coasters at Kings Island, in the card above. Now, I recommended heavily in this video that a Florida trip is the way to go this year, and I will be taking my own advice and doing a Busch Gardens, Universal Studios, SeaWorld Orlando trip myself later this summer. If you want to see all my videos reacting to the new coasters, then I suggest you hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching this video, and good luck planning your next coaster vacation. Until next time, I'm Hale. Stay safe and have a good one.